unless you've been living under a rock, you know what's going on with FAMU in this situation right now. So I have a couple thoughts that I wanna speak on about this situation. So hear me out. One, I never thought this game should have been scheduled in the first place. Offers no benefit unless you are a guy who is being looked at by NFL scouts. I mean, to schedule this right before the Orange Blossom Classic is just, it was, it. I couldn't fathom it. I don't know why that game was scheduled then, but it is what it is. You know, money games are essential to FCS programs to keeping their programs alive. I get it. But here's the thing. The fact that Isaiah Land, we know he can't play. He's one of those 20 guys who can't play. My heart hurts for him because this is a game that could benefit him greatly. It wouldn't have benefited the team, you know, because we know that's a loss. And, you know, before the Orange Blossom Classic, I just never loved that scheduling. But I hurt for him because this is a game that it meant a lot to him. And I know it did because he is a guy with 19 sacks coming into last year. A lot of FBS programs wanted him when he entered that portal for the short time that he did. This was an opportunity for you to go out on Saturday and prove to those scouts that you are a legitimate NFL talent with all that momentum that he has. And now he won't even get a chance to showcase it. Please remember, these kind of games are important to talents like Isaiah Land because if you remember, the Rams GM said he was in his living room one day. He turned on the TV to the Clemson game. He saw number 14 for South Carolina State get 2 picks, and he said, we have to know who that guy is. And after they knew who that guy was, after they did their research, they took him in the 4th round, where he is now taking snaps with the first team, and it's proving to be a great pick for them. So this game meant a lot to Isaiah Land, and it hurts. It hurts me that he ain't gonna get the opportunity to showcase his talents in front of those NFL scouts. My heart hurts for him. With that being said, if it's an academic thing with him, like if his grades is the reason, why he's ineligible, then you have to take responsibility for that, accountability for that, as a matter of fact. This is your make or break season. And all again, this is if his grades was the problem. This is your make or break season. You know the momentum you have. You know all eyes on you. Why wouldn't you take care of your grades to make sure that you're out there week 1 to play? What's going on? What's going on? Accountability, man. Accountability. If it's grades, accountability. And not just with the players, like everybody. Everybody. I don't know how you let this thing slide for as long as you did. How did you not know that 20 players ain't gonna be eligible for week 0? How did you not know until this point? How did y'all let it get to this point? And I know some people say FAMU only had one compliance director or something like that, somebody who's supposed to be in charge of that sort of thing. My thing is, I know you have a lot of sports to look after, but football season is your moneymaker. Football season is currently up right now. It's the hardest thing. When football season is going on, it's the biggest thing out of all sports. You got to check on that. You got to check on that. Another thing, I'm really upset for FAMU because they are going into this game with a short roster. They only have 7 offensive linemen suiting up to go against North Carolina. 7, which is what the legal limit that you can have, for safe play. But ain't nothing about that safe. Nothing about that is safe. North Carolina has at least 3 5-star defensive linemen on that roster with quality depth behind them. And you mean to tell me FAMU can only go into that game with 7 offensive linemen? I don't care if FAMU gets blown out. I don't care what the score of that game is going to be. I don't care how that game ends up. All I want for FAMU is for all of those kids to come back healthy. I'm praying that no injuries happen, not even minor injuries, dog. I want those kids, every single one of those kids, to come out of that game healthy. Because ultimately, for most of them, this game doesn't even matter. It's a money game. And some people were calling for FAMU to cancel the game. Even I had an opinion on it on social media, but then I learned that it would be a breach of contract if they did, and they would have to pay back that money that North Carolina gave them. So now you're really in a rough spot. Y'all are really in a rough spot. I hope all those kids come out of this game today safe. And my last point that I want to make about this situation: don't ever, for those of you people who have looked at Coach Prime and said he's a tyrant. He's a guy who has way too much control. He's controlling over those kids in this program. I don't want to hear it no more. Because see, one thing about Coach Prime from day one, he always prioritized them grades. He always prioritized them grades. If your grades wasn't straight, forget playing. You wasn't even practicing. You won't be in class getting your grades up. Now you see why coaches like Coach Prime, and I know Coach Prime isn't the only one at HBCU football who values that. Buddy Pugh over at South Carolina State, he does as well. They ain't letting you slide without grades. But when you see a coach like that really prioritize accountability for his players, saying, hey, if your grades ain't right, don't even think about coming on this field. Now you see why it's necessary. Now you see why guys like Coach Prime go about their program the way that they do, because they want to avoid stuff like this. Malachi Wyman was his best receiver, one of his best receivers, the most flashiest last season. Guess what? When Malachi Wyman played basketball, his grades dipped, which caused him to not start up training with the rest of the team when they started training. As a result, when Malachi Wyman came back, before he came back, he had to get his grades up, per Coach Prime. After he got his grades up to get back on the field, he wasn't automatically on first team. He had to start from third team and work his way back. Accountability. Don't ever. Let's not look at Coach Prime and how he runs that program anymore and criticize it, because now you see why things are being ran the way that they do. Overall, I hope, because I don't even know if these guys are going to be ineligible for the whole season or just a few games. Like I said, I don't know everything yet. After seeing, I've been in the Twitter spaces and on social media. Shout out to Blue, because he provides such great information. But all I can say is this: I pray that all of those FAMU guys come out of that game healthy. Hopefully no minor injuries either. I don't care how that game turns out. I just want those boys to come back healthy. Also, I hope that those 20 guys can get eligible as fast as they can, so that way they can get back on the field and, we can have ourselves a great season. This was supposed to be a great season for HBCU football. This is not the kind of spotlight that needs to be on HBCU football right now. Not with all this hype, not with all the eyes that are on HBCU ball right now. This didn't need to happen, but it did. And it's, it's kind of embarrassing, but, it's here now. Work past it. All the jokes are funny, and the reason why I'm not going not laugh at the jokes is because I know if Jackson State was in this situation, folks will be coming at them a lot harder. So it ain't nothing to do with I will never laugh at a joke or about FAMU situation. I make a joke about FAMU situation, hoping just liking to see their downfall. I don't ever want to laugh at a school's downfall, and I don't think this will be their downfall. But the jokes is, if your joke is funny, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh a little bit, just because I know, it's always funny until your school is in the spotlight. I think this is a situation of that. But man, praying that all these kids get out of that game safe. Praying that all these guys that are ineligible becomes eligible. But remember, man, accountability is a thing. And that we need to do our due diligence in making sure that these guys are able to be, not be in this situation again. But hey, let me know what you guys think about this situation down below in the comment section. Do you think FAMU should have canceled this game and pay back that money? Do you not care that they're going into this game of 20 less players? Just let me know your opinions on this. I'm very interested to see. But with that being said, man, you're watching the CFL podcast. I go by the name of Kobe. I'm out. Peace.